It was always in my head talking, telling me what I was and what I wasn't, and for the first time I had like a ego dissolution.
Something absolutely shocking just happened in court, and it's got the whole internet buzzing. Jaden Smith, son of Will and Jada, broke down during Diddy's explosive trial. But this wasn't just an emotional moment. Whispers are flying that Jaden could be the mystery witness, the one person with the power to bring down one of the most powerful men in music. This isn't just celebrity gossip. It's a tangled web of hidden parties, elite cover-ups, and a darkness that's been hiding in plain sight for years. What did Jaden see? What does he know? And why is his name suddenly at the center of a federal investigation? Stick around, because once you hear what's really going on, you won't look at Hollywood the same way again. On May 5th, the unthinkable happened. The entertainment world built on glitz, glamour, and untouchable power was shaken to its core.
When we said we wanted to bring him to the table, I was like, well, what do you want to talk about? He said, mushrooms.
Yeah.
The magic kind, of course.
In a packed New York City courtroom, Sean Diddy Combs, a man once celebrated as a kingmaker in hip-hop, and the mastermind behind some of the biggest names in music, stood accused of crimes that read more like the plot of a dark Hollywood thriller than real life. We're talking about serious federal charges: human trafficking, racketeering, witness intimidation, and a disturbing list of accusations that span decades. No bail, no press statements, just cold steel bars and a stunned silence from a once loyal inner circle. The lavish lifestyle, the private jets, the million-dollar parties, the celebrity friendships, all replaced with legal chaos and the possibility of a lifetime behind bars. But then, something even more unexpected happened. Out of nowhere, Jaden Smith, the son of Will Smith and Jada Pinkett, a Hollywood legacy in his own right, entered the courtroom. And he wasn't calm or collected. He was visibly shaken, eyes red, breathing unsteady.
It started as pure curiosity. It was always in my head talking, telling me what I was and what I wasn't, and for the first time I had like a ego dissolution where I was like, that was the moment that really changed me.
Something was off. He looked like a man carrying a secret too heavy to bear. And in that moment, the internet exploded. Speculation lit up like wildfire. What did Jaden know? Why was he there? And most haunting of all, was he the secret witness prosecutors had been keeping under wraps? People started digging into his past interviews, cryptic tweets, and emotional confessions. Suddenly, Jaden's past comments about trauma, ego death, and breaking free from the lies hit differently. What did he mean when he said he had been at parties he shouldn't have been at? Who was he referring to when he talked about being used in the industry? Was this just another celebrity caught in the crossfire? Or was Jaden Smith about to blow the lid off an entire empire?
With the first day of testimony in Sean Diddy Combs' federal crimes trial. After seating a jury of 8 men and 4 women, the prosecution delivered its opening statement, and they came out swinging.
One thing was clear: this trial wasn't just about Diddy anymore. It was about something bigger, something darker, a world most people never even knew existed. Until now. Let's take a step back. Jaden Smith has always been known for his deep, introspective mindset. Unlike many young celebrities molded by the spotlight, Jaden carved out a unique voice, one that wasn't afraid to dive into topics like mental wellness, emotional struggle, and personal growth. He's spoken about feeling disconnected from himself, lost in identity, and overwhelmed by the pressure of fame. Interviews, lyrics, and his famous appearances on Red Table Talk revealed someone who wasn't just navigating stardom, he was trying to survive it. But nothing could have prepared the world for what happened at that courthouse. When Jaden entered the courtroom during Diddy's trial, the air shifted. Cameras caught him holding back tears, clutching his chest, and trembling as he made his way to his seat.
Turning now to New York, opening statements have officially begun in the trial against Sean Diddy Combs. The charges, including trafficking and racketeering, carry a possible life sentence behind bars.
He wasn't there for support. He wasn't there for spectacle. He looked like someone who had seen too much and could no longer stay silent. In seconds, the footage went viral. Speculation surged across social media. Some claimed he was having a panic attack. Others were convinced it was something deeper, something buried. People started connecting dots, dangerous, dark dots. Photos and rumors began resurfacing. Jaden seen at Diddy's parties when he was barely old enough to drive. cryptic interviews where he described being in places I never should have been. Tweets that seemed harmless suddenly felt like cries for help. Was it just curiosity that led a young Jaden to those scenes? Or was he dragged into something far more disturbing? And then, the questions turned sharper. Why was he so emotional in court? But let that sink in. The idea that a father, someone known for preaching about growth, spirituality, and legacy, could have knowingly placed his son in proximity to a man now facing federal trafficking charges has rocked the internet to its core. It's the kind of accusation that feels too dark to be true.
Prosecutor Emily Johnson said the public knew Diddy as a larger-than-life business mogul, but behind the scenes, he was forcing women into using violence and drugs to keep them in line. She said Combs had an inner circle that helped him commit sex crimes, other crimes, things like arson and kidnapping. And then came the graphic details from what we now know are called the freak-offs.
But too persistent to ignore. People aren't just speculating. They're digging up old interviews, red carpet photos, behind-the-scenes footage. Any interaction between Will and Diddy is now being replayed, reanalyzed, and reframed in a new, unsettling context. A clip of Will saying he trusts the industry with his children? It's now being viewed through a much darker lens. A video of Jaden at a Diddy-hosted event at a young age? That clip has suddenly become Exhibit A in an online trial without a jury. Did he witness something during those nights that still haunts him today? Was he about to testify, not as a spectator, but as a survivor? Nobody knew for sure. But one thing was undeniable. Jaden's breakdown wasn't performative. It was raw. It was real. And in the court of public opinion, it was a red flag waving in the middle of a storm we're only beginning to understand. Now, here's where things take a turn that's left even longtime fans of the Smith family stunned. Among the countless rumors swirling around this case, one stands out as especially chilling. The claim that Will Smith himself, one of Hollywood's most beloved actors, allegedly introduced his own son, Jaden, to Diddy. But here's the catch. There's no hard evidence. No court document. No confirmed report. Nothing that would hold up in front of a judge. Just whispers, speculation, and a growing sense of unease. So, why does this rumor have such staying power? Maybe it's because people are finally seeing the cracks in Hollywood's perfect family image. Maybe it's because Jaden's own emotional state seems to back it up. Or maybe, just maybe, it's because the truth has a way of surfacing when you least expect it. Whether it's fact or fiction, this allegation has become one of the most emotionally charged elements of the entire case. And for millions of viewers, it's raised a terrifying question. If someone like Will Smith isn't safe from suspicion, is anyone? Meanwhile, Diddy's name has been tied to some of the most disturbing claims in recent memory.
Well, Andrew, trial is expected to wrap up in the next half hour or so. We had opening statements this morning, and then they got right to the witnesses. When we got back this afternoon, they seated this jury, which looks to be 8 men, 4 women. About 3/4 of them are people of color, just to give you an idea of the breakdown. The first witness to testify was Officer Israel Flores. He was the security officer back in 2016.
His ex, Cassie Ventura, testified about disturbing private parties, sessions where everything was controlled, from the atmosphere to the participants. She described long, drawn-out encounters, strange rituals, and an obsession with control. Court documents mention coded language, cash payments, and troubling behavior that left many emotionally scarred. This wasn't Hollywood glamour. It was something else entirely. Jaden has openly talked about his use of plant-based mind openers. On Red Table Talk, he said they helped him break down his ego and understand himself better. He described these experiences as life-changing and healing, but some are spinning these revelations into something darker, suggesting that Jaden was trying to cope with trauma from things he witnessed while still young. To many, they've been a breath of fresh air in an industry that thrives on masks. But now, that very openness is being turned upside down. The family's loose ties to Diddy, whether through industry events, social circles, or mutual acquaintances, are starting to look different. Suddenly, people are asking uncomfortable questions. If Jaden was at those infamous parties while still a teenager, how did he get there? Who approved it? And most importantly, did his parents know? Were Will and Jada naive, misled? Or were they aware that the circles they moved in weren't as harmless as they seemed? But it gets worse. A lawsuit from Diddy's former producer, Lil Rod, claims the mogul had hidden cameras throughout his homes, capturing explicit content of celebrities and politicians without their knowledge. According to the lawsuit, these recordings weren't just trophies. They were leverage, a way to silence, control, and protect himself from consequences. So, where does Jaden Smith truly fit into all of this? The Smiths have long been viewed as one of Hollywood's most unique and progressive families. They've built a public image around emotional honesty, self-discovery,
where Diddy allegedly recorded several encounters that he'd arranged between paid escorts and his alleged victims, including his former girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. Now, the feds say Diddy once forced an escort to urinate on Cassie. That came out in court today. When it was the defense's turn, they didn't deny Diddy's temper. They said, yes, he can be violent. They admitted that. Remember, that's not what he's on trial for. They said, yes, he's got anger issues, and his actions might warrant domestic violence charges. It was clever that they said that.
and open conversations about things most celebrities won't even whisper about: mental health, identity, psychedelics, and healing. This isn't just about physical presence at a party. It's about access, trust, power. Diddy was a titan of the music world, and having him as a mentor or friend could open doors for any aspiring artist. But behind those doors, something darker may have been waiting. The internet has started speculating. Was the Smith family simply collateral damage in a much larger, more sinister machine? Or were they part of the inner circle that chose silence over scrutiny? We may never know the full extent of their involvement or lack thereof. But what's clear is that Jaden's presence at this trial has forced fans to re-examine everything. What looked like artistic rebellion now feels like a cry for help. What once seemed like enlightened parenting now carries the weight of possible oversight. This section of the story doesn't come with a clear villain or victim, but it leaves us with a haunting realization. In Hollywood, even the most open families might not be immune to the secrets everyone else is too afraid to speak about. As more names get pulled into this trial, people are asking who knew what and when. Big stars who once called Diddy a close friend have gone radio silent. Others are being mentioned in court testimony. One claim even involves Kid Cudi, with accusations that Diddy threatened him when Cassie started dating him. Then Kid Cudi's car allegedly exploded. Coincidence? This trial? It's bigger than just one man, bigger than Diddy.
We saw that now infamous recording of Sean Combs allegedly beating Cassie Ventura in that hotel hallway. We heard from him. We watched the video in its entirety from multiple angles in order to see exactly what unfolded.
What we're witnessing is the unraveling of a system built on wealth, influence, and decades of carefully curated silence. For years, the entertainment industry has operated like an elite club where fame acts as a shield and money buys silence. People who dare to speak out are often blackballed, dismissed, or labeled unstable. Meanwhile, the powerful protect each other, forming invisible walls that critics and victims alike can't seem to break through. But now, those walls are starting to crack. This trial has become a spotlight, a burning spotlight, on an industry that has, for too long, swept its darkest secrets under red carpets. It's no longer just about Diddy's alleged crimes. It's about what those crimes reveal. It's about the ecosystem of enablers, the publicists who spin the headlines, the executives who look the other way, and the celebrities who stay quiet to protect their own reputations. From whispers of blackmail to hidden surveillance tapes, from shocking testimony to bombshell lawsuits, the details emerging are more twisted than anything you'd see in a movie. But this isn't fiction. This is real life, messy, painful, and impossible to ignore. The truth is, what happens in this courtroom could send shockwaves across the entire industry. It could force people to answer for the things they thought they buried years ago.
But trafficking and racketeering, again, that's what the federal case is about. The defense says those don't apply. And all that freak-off, according to the defense, they say it was consensual. They said that Diddy's love of baby oil, and this was actually a quote, they said the love of baby oil was not a federal crime.
And it could finally shift the balance of power just enough to give victims a real voice. Because this isn't just about what Diddy did or didn't do. It's about whether an entire system will be held accountable for letting it happen. And as each day passes, that question gets harder and harder to silence. So, what really happened in that courtroom? Was Jaden Smith's emotional moment a spontaneous breakdown? A raw response to a memory too painful to hide? Or was it something else? Was he reacting to secrets long buried, memories that have been locked away since he was a teenager navigating the shadows of fame? Or is the internet once again spinning a narrative, projecting meaning where there is none? The footage doesn't lie. Jaden looked visibly shaken. But in the absence of a formal statement or testimony, all we have are theories. Some say he's gearing up to speak out. Others believe he was simply there to support someone else, and his tears were the weight of old trauma resurfacing in a space charged with tension and fear. Either way, his presence has changed the entire tone of this trial. He's become a symbol, a mirror reflecting all the unanswered questions about what really goes on behind Hollywood's most polished curtains. Is Jaden trying to expose something? Was his breakdown a signal? A silent scream that there's more to uncover? We might never have all the answers. But one thing's becoming clearer with every passing day. This case is far from over. The headlines you've seen, they're just the beginning. And as the truth starts to seep through the cracks, more names, more powerful, unexpected names, are bound to be dragged into the light. So now we ask you, the audience.
And as we watch this video, I want to say, by the way, everything we're about to talk about during this live shot could be perceived as disturbing material. So just want to give our viewers a little bit of a warning here.
What do you think really happened? Was Jaden Smith trying to send a silent message to the world? Was his breakdown the result of years of secrets finally bubbling to the surface? Or was he just another young figure caught in the storm of a scandal too massive to escape? Whatever the truth is, one thing's clear. The questions aren't going away. And neither is this story. We want to hear what you believe. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't hold back. Let's get this conversation going. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Because this channel isn't just about exposing headlines. It's about diving deep, uncovering truth, and connecting the dots that mainstream media won't. This isn't just entertainment. It's a wake-up call. Stay curious, stay skeptical, and above all, stay tuned.